one thing we're trying to make sure that our team continually understands is that to win big, to win really big, you've got to be able to play a lot of different ways. And as much as we want to set the pace and tempo, sometimes you don't have to have patience, but you got to wait for your opportunity. And as long as you're playing solid, and as long as you're sticking with what you know works, sometimes those opportunities come when you least expect it, or they come when you force the tempo just a little bit more defensively because you know that you can. And I think tonight it was a little bit like that. We kept waiting for the game to go our way in the first half, but no one got discouraged or got sped up to the point where we started forcing the action. And we probably didn't get it as inside as much as we needed to in the first half, especially with where we were in the bonus at the 10:53 mark. But we were playing really hard, really solid, and just waiting for it to break. And in the second half, they did something about it even that much more. And I think that's the sign of a team that's maturing and getting better. Like I said, at halftime, when the score is low, because a couple of guys mentioned we only had X amount of points, and we're not trying to set records. We're trying to win a national championship. And there's certain things that we'd really like to do defensively and offensively. I don't know if there'll be records, but there'll be things that could really make us better. But at the end of the day, if you want to win big, you've got to be able to play a lot of different ways. And tonight our guys did that, and they stayed true to the game plan. And the game plan was to continue to, no matter how we had to do it, whether it was post-up drives, cuts, whatever it was, that we needed to get to the foul line. And they did a great job of taking away some of the penetration angles that we usually use, and our guys did a great job of finding a different way. And that's a tribute to the coaches like Kenny Johnson, who did a phenomenal job in the preparation, Steve McLean and Tim and Calvert, who are always over there talking and coming up with things, and our guys reading the game at a really high level. So we knew we would play against a team that would play extremely hard. We spent time preparing for this game, looking at how they played against the best teams in our league, especially when they were at Michigan and when they were at Michigan State, and playing Ohio State the two times that they did, especially at Nebraska. And they've got a tough, hard-nosed group. We knew they would. And I thought our guys did a really good job of knowing, locking in, and respecting what they do. And to hold Gallegos to no points in the first half, that was a big, big deal, because he takes 17 shots a game on the road and 10 threes a game on the road. And to hold him down the way that we did, I thought was really important. And same thing with Ubel, because he can do so many different things. And but I like their team, and they're going to get better, and hopefully people look at us and see the same thing.
How much of that maturity is the team having the patience to crank up, not try to do too much on offense, crank up the defense, and just know that will lead to their
well,
offense?
I think that's just the growth of older guys having a better understanding, and you go through enough games, you're going to get experience from that, but you're going to get an understanding of how to play. And again, this is a great thing. We had 27 points at half, but yet we end with 76, win the game by 29. I mean, that's really good. And I don't even want to call it a workmanlike effort, because they're playing so hard every possession, and really took it up a notch to start the half. When the game right there, momentum's up for grabs at halftime, no matter what the score is. Momentum's up for grabs, and they grabbed it, and they didn't let it go. And it was a lot like that when we played at Ohio State on Sunday. We had momentum to the last 5 minutes of the Illinois game, and then we didn't get it back. I mean, so momentum is always up for grabs, and you never know who's going to grab it. When you got all 5 guys on the court trying to grab it at the same time, it's usually pretty good.
Justin? You might have already kind of answered that there, but you mentioned just sort of waiting to get it to break your way, I guess. What do you think was the biggest thing that made it start to break your way, that made the game start to play more?
Didn't break down and take too many quick jump shots that led to easy baskets for them. I think that's the biggest thing. I think we missed some shots, but the other big thing, and you know it as well as I know it, I mean, when we don't turn the ball over, I mean, we're a lot better. And every team can say that, but when you score the points that this team is scoring, when you have the offensive efficiency that they have, which is so highly ranked nationally, with that, and you eliminate those turnovers, I don't know what our point per possession was tonight, but I know it was really high. And they're starting to really get that. And Seth Cooper did a phenomenal job of showing them the value of a turnover. okay? Not only to the other team, but how much it hurts us. And we had that study for these guys the other day, and then they saw that when we don't turn it over, we're a eye-popping 1.47 points per possession. That's unbelievable. And we felt good about the zone. In the last 7-8 games, we've been scoring over 2.5 points a possession against the zone, so we weren't worried if they went to that. And our guys just didn't, they just kept going. They just kept creating it from defense. I think that's the biggest thing.
Tom, the way Christian has elevated his game, I mean, certainly in the Big Ten play, the last several games, can you talk about that?
Well, he gets better all the time. I mean, I think it's easy to lose sight of how far he's come as a player. And I know there were some questions about this yesterday. At the availability, he's come a long, long way. I mean, there's no question about it. And is he gotten a lot taller? No. Beard's a little longer, okay, than it was when he got here, but he's stronger, he's more athletic, but he's added so many things to his game. I mean, so many things. And he smells it. He smells it. I mean, he smells a lot of things right now, I would think. I mean, when he's consistent, he's really, really good. And what he's learned is that he's got really good teammates that he can make better and they can make him better. And when they're all locked in defensively, great things happen. He knows he's money from the foul line. So that's like putting 2 points in the bank every time that he gets fouled in a situation. But he has high personal goals, and he has very high team goals, or he's a part of very high team goals, I should say. And I think it's coming in his play.
I know it's just a stat, but I think that they went without an assist for 3/4 of the game, only finished with a handful. Just what does that say about the way that your team's playing?
We were taking away their easy baskets. I think I saw that same stat at halftime, and I didn't bring it up, but this team is good they're really good out of timeouts with pick and roll refusals, back doors. You know, you get assists off those back doors, and we didn't give those up. Most of what they were getting was off the dribble. And so we gave that up a couple times, but we made them work, and they made us work. But we made them work, and our thing is, okay, if we're going to have to play defense all the way into that shot clock, let's make sure we don't give it up in the last 5-6 seconds of it, because that's what they want you to do. And that's a lot harder. You know, what you're seeing out there from those guys, that's a lot harder to do than you might realize, because they're playing extremely hard. I mean, they're back in transition. Okay, and they're not fast breaking. Well, anybody's going to break if they see an opening. Okay, so they're back in transition. They're guarding all that time on the shot clock, and they're guarding all those reversals, and they're making everything tough. And then all of a sudden, when they need to score, our guys are locking down that much better. That's the maturity part. It's, we're way better at that than we were 2 weeks ago.
6 points tonight from Emory Abel and 3 from Maurice Creek. How big will the production of those guys be? How important that need to be for you guys down the stretch?
Everybody that came in, everybody tonight, I looked at this before I came in, everybody was a plus and the plus minus. And that's big. That rarely ever happens. And sometimes you'll have starters that might be a minus. You hope not. But you're going to have guys off the bench that are going to be a minus, and nobody was tonight. Everybody that played impacted the game when they were in. And those two are going to be huge in that area. I thought Derek Elston did an excellent job. Well, again, just look at him as a starter. He does so many things for us. Jeremy didn't get on track scoring, but again, he went in and was very positive for us. And we just need to keep finding more minutes for Hunter, because when he spreads out and plays, and as he keeps learning the speed of the game, he'll be that much better. So I think they're all important.
You mentioned not settling for jump shots, but how big was it that you hit the one you guys did take, just because it seemed like it spread the court out a lot? They were up.
Yeah, I think so. They did a great job of compacting the middle. So for us to get the middle open, and they did a great job of collapsing on our back cuts. So you're going to play off the wings more. You're going to play in the corners more. And our guys did a really good job of that. We got a few back cuts, but we got great ball reversal. We got the ball into the middle and kind of kicked. People were ready to shoot. We made the next pass. And I never get too worked up on what our assist numbers are, because we're such a driving team. But those guys did that. They made the next pass, and to shoot 50% from the three against a good defense is important. I think in the Big Ten they were holding teams to 29% from three. I know it was either in the Big Ten or the last 5 games. I did not mention that stat to these guys, but I saw that. I mean, and that's a strong number. I mean, it's a very strong number. So for us to shoot 50% tonight against they do a great job of challenging shots, and they got a really long team, I think. And they're dangerous with that, so I thought it was important. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Cody had to come out midway through the first half with a couple of fouls.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say to him when he had to come to the bench, and how do you think he played in the second half?
I thought he played excellent in the second half. I think Cody needs to understand, again, I always look at these guys, what would I do if I was going against them? And I'll share that with them in there. But bottom line is, it's no secret. You're starting the game plan with how are you going to stop him offensively, but how are you going to get him out of the game defensively? And he can't ever participate in that. He's got to stay low. He's got to stay in a stance. He's got to block out. He's got to have his hands active, those type of things. His second foul was one, if he'd have been down low and caught the ball in the position that he should catch it, he was probably going to get a dunk. But he caught it standing straight up. He had to hand it off, and then he swung his hips, and he set a moving screen, and he's got to constantly stay low. But I think he knew, he didn't like sitting over there. I played time and score with that, but he knew that they were going to come after him to get that third, and that also knew if he wasn't down in the stance, he was probably going to be coming over with us, because we can't have him not be in one. He's so good that when he gets down and he's athletic, when he bends those knees just a little bit, his athleticism is off the charts. And we need him to be like that constantly.
Seventh game this year, you guys have shot 50% or better from the three-point line. Is that patience? Is that not taking contested shots? And is this your best shooting team?
Oh, I don't know if it's the best shooting team. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Best shooting team here or as a coach? Here?
Either one.
Yeah, I would have to go with this year. I think Vic's improvement. I mean, a year ago, 11 games in, Vic was shooting 13% from the three. 11 games in, he's shooting, what, 64%? Those are mind-boggling numbers. He was in the high 30s from the foul line, right? Low 40s. Now he's in the 80s. I mean, his improvement, I mean, everybody thinks they see it, but when you look at where it was a year ago to where it is now, it's astronomical. So when he's shooting the ball and when Will's shooting the ball that way, as we get Mo back, then our team has got as we get Mo shooting the ball better, then our team has got a chance to be that much better. I think the best thing for us is we're nowhere near league leaders in attempts, I don't believe. And I think we have to be a selective three-point shooting team. We have to be an inside-out, next pass. We don't need to be a shoot-it-quick team from three, because that's not our strength. Offensive rebounding is one of our strengths. Post play is one of our strengths. Getting in the lane is one of our strengths. When we get threes off that, it's really good. When we just become a three-point shooting team or a quick shooting team, then we play into the defense's hands.
Coach, yesterday you were talking a little bit how you're worried about the energy level coming out in the game. How'd you feel about the energy level in the first 10 minutes?
I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I thought the students were great. I thought it was very good. I mean, it just takes a while to get going. But I mean, it built up as the game went on. I'll go quicker. I know Dave's got one.
Just want to ask about momentum. You talked about it earlier. Do you have it now after last Thursday? You've got Purdue coming in on Saturday now, or is it all up for grabs?
See, I look at momentum differently. I don't think it's. I wish it was. Your confidence builds. Okay, your understanding of the game builds, and you hope that has something to do with it. Momentum's up for grabs every game throughout the game. And no matter how you're playing in the first half, second half, it's all open again. I mean, you want to feel like you're really getting better, but I think the moment that you start to think that you've got something going is the moment you're going to lose it, especially in this league, especially in any high-powered league. But I think it's just constantly, you never know, okay, who can get it for you. And so you got to have everybody that's alert and ready to go. We always talk about the old Scott Skiles phrase, play on demand. For those guys, it's easier said than done. For the guys coming off the bench, you never know who's going to get you momentum. So we look at it, I mean, you can just feel it. You can feel when it's up for grabs, you can feel when you're getting it, you can feel when you're losing it, and I wish it was something that you could carry over, but I don't think it is. I missed one more, right here. Good.
Early on, when as you said, you were sort of waiting for the game to come to your team, Nebraska was racking up quite a few fouls early on and helping you guys get to the line early. How important was that?
I think we're helping ourselves. We're drawing the fouls. I think it takes two. It takes the person to foul, it takes the person to draw it. And I think our guys are very conscious of that. And that's very important. I mean, it doesn't matter. You've got to be able to go inside. You've got to be able to get to the foul line. We have so many good foul shooters it's the worst thing could happen to us is that we're not being aggressive. That doesn't mean we're always going to get to the line, doesn't mean we're always going to make them, and doesn't mean we're always going to get the calls. But we have to be aggressive in our pursuit of it, and I think our guys were. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.